and turning the mic over to you for the John Mundy Mysticism and Miracles. Audsie, this mic is all yours.
Thank you, Lynn. And I am here, but I switched computers. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to have to share it from this user that I have lit up now, if you don't mind giving me sharing capabilities. And hello, Thursday. Yay, I love Thursdays. I love Mondays. I love Sundays. I just love all the days. And today, I think, is awesome because it's lesson for the calendar lessons if you're following them. And even that isn't always the same as everybody's because of leap years and what you decide to do with that. So what I think it is lesson 1, 2, 3. 123, but it's 1, 2, 3, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3, right? I thank my Father for his gifts to me. And Rev Wayne, when you shared Pathways of Light last time, it just tickled me pink because I forgot about those guys. And I listened to it today and I really remembered this lesson from a few years ago, just because of just the example, right? We teach through parables and it's a story, and I just want to share it for lesson 123, Course in Miracles.
ACIM Insights, Lesson 123. I thank my Father for his gifts to me. One of the sentences that stood out to me in this lesson is, give thanks as well that you are changeless. This means that the only part of me that is real is changeless love. This also means that the only part of everyone in this world that is real is the changeless love, as God created them. This makes everything, all the complications of this world disappear. There is only one reality. Everyone in this whole world is still as God created them. There are no differences or distance between people of any kind. We are still one self, joined in the mind of God. We are still the same light of love, joy, and peace as we were created. Nothing has changed that reality. Anything else is meaningless illusion. This certainly simplifies my life. My only real life is the life I live in God, and that has never changed. For this I am grateful. God's gifts to me and everyone, the whole sonship, are eternal. God's gifts of extending eternal love never ends. As I open to receive God's gifts, I give them because giving and receiving are the same. God is changeless. God's gifts are changeless, and I am thankful today that this is so. Today's idea is the antidote to the desire for specialness that is the foundation of the world. When I express gratitude for my Father's gifts to me, I am accepting his gifts. The desire for specialness is the rejection of God's gifts. It's saying to God, what you gave me isn't good enough. I want more than everything. This whole world was made to make it look like I could have other gifts than those my Father gave. As I practice expressing my gratitude for God's gifts, I'm really practicing accepting myself. This self is what God gave me, and it contains all of God, all love. There is nothing else to give and nothing else to receive. The attempts to give and receive something else binds me to God's gifts and leaves me feeling empty and alone. As I affirm my gratitude for God's gifts, I am recognizing where real value lies. I am shifting my attention from meaningless, empty forms to the only meaning there is. I am moving away from rejecting myself as I was created towards accepting the magnificent changeless gift of love given me by God. It shifts my attitude from depression to joy, from conflict to peace, from fear to love. I am deeply grateful for this course, which offers me the means to recognize where real value lies and to recognize the meaningless for what it is. Today I will accept God's gifts with gratitude. With gratitude comes joy, and with joy comes the desire to share. And so I experience once again that receiving and giving are the same. They cannot be separated, just as joy and gratitude cannot be separated. Thank you, Father, for your gifts to me. I have something specific to be grateful for. I was doing a meditation the other day and was looking for people I needed to forgive. There is a man I work with who really gets on my nerves. I've tried to forgive him before, thought I had, and then he would do something to annoy me and I'd realize I had not forgiven. I had a hard time with the process and resisted it a while. My mind would wander. I'd find myself unable to focus on him. Every time I tried to see him differently, I would see his face with this expression that has always rubbed me the wrong way. There he would be with his eyebrow raised, his eyes widened, and this self-satisfied smirk on his face, like he knows something no one else knows. He looked like some kind of demented elf. How was I supposed to forgive this ridiculous image? I stuck with it though, and finally I started thinking of him as an actor playing a role. I thought about how an actor is not his character. When the play is over, the actor walks away from that character and goes back to being himself. Suddenly the mind quit fighting the process. I realized that this person I didn't like was just a character in the script that he wrote for his life. It was like he was wearing a mask, and if he took it off, I would see his holy self completely unchanged. When I tried to take that step and see him without his personality self, I was unable to do so. In my frustration, I finally said, "Holy Son of God, show yourself to me." And he did. It was like a mask falling away, and there was his splendid, beautiful light self, minus all those annoying habits and many faults I had always seen in him. Then suddenly I saw the raised eyebrows, the widened eyes, the smile, and it was like he was winking at our shared secret. I almost laughed out loud. I came out of the meditation feeling differently about him and hoping the feeling would last. Yesterday he was listening to one of my presentations and corrected something I did wrong in front of my customers. I was amazed that I didn't feel angry with him because I used to use any excuse to dislike him. Later, when I had the chance, I thanked him sincerely for pointing out the mistake and told him that it gave me the chance to rewrite that part so that it was better now. The pleased look on his face was my reward. The real reward, though, is harder to put into words. I feel like someone who has had a chronic illness and is suddenly healed. It is a real blessing.
Yeah, I had to start taking notes just to kind of focus myself. That was a strategy I used in school. I just kept writing everything I heard so that I could stay on task, listening. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. And so many things in this are just so beautiful. I remember when I first heard the pathways lesson was when COVID was happening. So whatever year of the years that was in the time. And the mask he spoke of, you know, this whole mask, the demented elf, which kind of had this spooky, scary feel, but then went into the funnies because of Jim Carrey. It made me think of Jim Carrey in The Mask. And that COVID was literally having us wear masks. And that the world was showing us all that we were masking ourselves with this COVID pandemic. I remember thinking that it was so clear to me. Of course, I tried to say this a few times, but people just looked at me with eyes glazed over. But I just allowed that excitement to dissipate because, you know, it's part of that personality of the ups and downs. Like too much excitement is also, you know, tipping the scale a little bit there. And it's all good, but I just, to keep myself on track when he was saying that, you know, the demented elf and just thinking of the images that I could conjure up in my mind of looks from a parent or a loved one or a stranger. Wouldn't even have to be anyone I knew. That could carry forward with me at any point in time and just be used as ammunition against what? What? And I also love how he told the tale again about the actor, you know, he was just playing his part like Jim Carrey in The Mask, or like Rupert tells how he tells his John walking in Paris and Italy and all that. And I just laughed at the time because I remember that story from Rupert just annoyed me so much because I just hated it. I don't know what it was about it. But every time I heard him, it seemed he would be talking about John walking in the streets of freaking Paris. And no, I don't feel that way now, but I just would be grated. And I just laughed. And at the time, didn't realize what a gift it was of being able to repurpose, or as he says, he got to rewrite that part of whatever the manual was for his customers. Everything can be repurposed. Everything can be repurposed. The demented elf's look. The people-pleasing can be repurposed for good. Anything can be repurposed. I just have to say, like he said, show yourself to me. Show yourself to me and wait. 1, 2, 3. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Every lesson is this easy, and yet it seems so far away. I thank my Father for his gifts to me. And another thing I've realized is that this mind really can get on me for getting too much in talking of the God and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And I can get a little cranky in my head. Whatever it is, who cares what the stories are, but it's about, I just heard this, when will you stand up for something? Like I said in a group once, well, I don't want to use the word God, like it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not going to use it. Like I can't even talk to people I know then. And and the person was like, well, God, you know, was very dramatic to me and emphatic in saying that you had to use that word God. How dare you not use the word God, type of thing. But I know it wasn't that brutal, but I realize, when do you stand for something then? If there is no thing, what are you going to stand for? And this gift of just love, life is love. Life is in everything. Life, that life vessel that we talk about, that goes out when people have seen people pass away, the light is extinguished from the eyes. That's us. That's the oneness. And Rev Wayne, you played Michael Jackson's Black or White. Love that so much. I long for those ancient wounds to be healed. And for all to see what God's gifts are to us, for us. The light shining. Show yourself to me. Okay, I think I'm okay now. I'm back. I went away. I don't know where I went, but does anybody have anything they want to share before I dive into the book? Course in Mysticism and Miracles, Begin Your Spiritual Adventure, John Mundy.
Yeah, Audsie, first off, I love that, what you played from Pathways and that whole, I mean, that's really the thing that I learned from my relationship with Teddy Poppy. And he and I did not get along real well, and I just had a lot of very negative thoughts about him. I have no idea what he really thought about me. I only heard what he said, which made me think something, but it certainly might have been completely different than what he really thought, because that's how people are sometimes. But long story short, I was so hurt and angry from him. I just thought, and I've talked about this before, and some people are here who were there and saw that and knew it, because, he would, say such challenging things to me all the time. And, I was really angry about it, and I had to forgive it. And that's why I started working really hard on that, because I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand being that angry with another person. And it worked. I did Ho'oponopono on him. I think I've talked about this before. That I would just sit and look at a picture of him, and I would look at every bit of him, his hair, his ears, his face, his body, his hands, every part of him. I would look at it, and I would just be saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Just that simple Ho'opono prayer, no depth into it, just looking and asking, saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. And it worked. He and I became really close friends. And I went out a couple times and visited him, actually several times, actually. Spent quite a bit of time with him, and really loved him dearly as a friend. And what I realized, later, as I really got to see this, and from my favorite lesson, 181, I trust my brothers who are one with me. Every brother who is with us has a purpose, and everything that they're doing is for our own good. And so, those times when I looked at the things that he was saying and said, man, this guy is really rough, and why is he so mean to me? Later on, I was able to look at it and say, oh, thank God he challenged me on these thoughts that I had. Thank God he asked me to look, or told me to look and try to defend what I was thinking. Thank God he pushed for me to really examine what was going on in my mind, because I was just I was just floating around thinking I knew everything, thinking I understood the course, thinking I blah, 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 all that kind of crap. And I was so clueless. And, not that maybe he thought he recognized that that helped me, he may have just been being an asshole, and that happens. But, but, but I don't think so. I honestly think that it was the Christ in him calling to the Christ in me on every occasion. And it was the Christ in me that finally was able to break through and see the truth, the reality of the relationship. So anyway, thank you for letting me share. This course really works. That's all I can say. This course really works. Anyway, I'll give you back the mic. And I see Sharon has her hand up.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I didn't hear it the way you heard it. I felt like he was picking on you. I feel like he was attacking you, and is that okay? No. Again, if you believe the thoughts, then it was for you. Because if he hurt you, then that was the problem. But he went off on certain people. For what reason? It's because if you knew anything about the course, Teddy would get mad because it had to be coming from him. He knew Jesus. That's how I saw it, Lynn. I don't know how you saw it, but that's how I saw it.
Well,
And
no,
he was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. I didn't take it seriously. I went to his house, talked to him, but he had this issue. Like I never, you knew all the lines in the course and you would put them up and you were just sharing and you weren't doing anything wrong at all. That's just the way I saw it.
Thank you, Sharon. No, exactly as you said. I was hurt. I was pissed. I was
Yeah,
angry.
but it was like he singled you out. Now I didn't know the course like you did, and you were putting things up, but you were also helping yourself, teaching yourself, which is what we're all doing. And he had a beautiful heart. I got to know Teddy in other ways, just as long as it wasn't course related. As soon as it's course related, he knew Jesus, and nobody else did.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Yeah. And then and like this is what we're talking about though. I did see it another way because it was really another way. It may not have been in his mind. He may
Right.
have been really picking on me because he thought I was a dumbass. But in reality, it doesn't matter because the truth is the truth, and it had nothing to do with him.
It had nothing to do with him really at all.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you believe, like I've gotten hurt from different things, and now I look back and I realize none of it was personal. These thoughts come in. If the person's not aware of them, they'll just say it.
Yeah.
Because it's just one being dreaming. So you could look at it from different directions. But in those days, I was new and I really didn't know everybody. So, and I have a tendency not to like when people pick on people. It's just,
Yeah, well, that's an ego tendency, and
yeah.
so let's let's not fool ourselves that it's
Right.
a notion other than to reaffirm the ego's supremacy.
That's right, and the ego will reaffirm in trying to make me seem nice. That's how it does it with me. It's always trying to tell me I'm right. And Audsie, I love what you're sharing. I've been listening to you. Thank you. I do like to listen to that lesson that you just put. I like to listen to all their stuff. So thanks, Audsie. Okay, back over to you, Audsie.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just laughing, so my hand slipped on the mouse. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's like that's truly practicing it. And I was sitting here thinking about that and thinking about Lynn doing that with Teddy, and then thinking when I've had stuff with my family, so I just see a family member, and then my mind says, well, it's harder with a family member because you know them and they're in your life, and then it's like, no, show me the lesson. I want to see what it means, the lesson that there's
but the ego doesn't even know what we're doing.
Difference in, I'd like to finish what I'm saying, please. Because because I said right here, as we're sitting here, no, I would like to see the lesson, please. Show me the lesson that there is no difficulty in order of miracles. And then as we sat here, and Lynn, you continued your story about Ted Poppy and bringing up his picture and Ho'oponopono Ono, and then whether it's a sister, brother, stranger, anything. And then all these little pieces, which I'm not even going to bother trying to share it because it's hard to describe stuff. And it just was there. It's like, show me. And it's a direct example of why there is no order of difficulties in miracles. And then now I get it. I get it. Like I feel like something gets it, which makes something happy, right? This one that still wants to be special and heard and is like, well, I want a dog. It's my turn. And that's the one I'm seeing too, that's being told by the brother, you know, I love you. It's okay. It's okay. It's just very direct and I'm in it. And I didn't mean to be so terse, Sharon, or maybe I did, but
Oh,
who
I didn't take
cares?
it. I don't care. I could care less. I'm just going to walk my dog. I just like the way you both share. That's all.
And so, yeah, that was really cool to see that. Ho'oponopono Ono has been really beneficial for me in even just breaking my attention away from a story, just to recite, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And what is truly curious is that for some reason, I'm fascinated with true crime. And I find myself when I'm feeling things or you know, there's a lot of judgment and things are going on, that's what will come up. Ho'oponopono Ono. So I'll start doing that while I'm listening about this story drama in this supposed world. And it's very helpful in grounding me back, and then remembering too, there's no order of difficulty, whether you're mad or murdering. So yeah, so I guess that's it. 2 minutes to read. I'm not going to open the book today because it's a little past the time for reading John now. I know he embodies 123. He's given so much of his time to just sharing A Course in Miracles in a different language that can be maybe more digestible. So I look forward to the continued teaching of peace through learning, and joined as one mind, we unite. Happy Prayer Day that day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Audsie. I started to say thank you and I started to cough and sneeze at the same time. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, this was lovely and so much fun to hang out with you and share with you. And you know, I kind of hesitated to come on and tell my story because I knew it was taking up your time, but you know, I thought it was probably relevant and helpful because it was a situation where, man, I thought I was, oh my Lord, it was very difficult for me to rectify. But anyway, but we did it. The Holy Spirit helped me. I mean, that's what, you know, you can ask for help, you know, ask the Holy Spirit for help. And just, you know, just if you want to see things differently, you will see things differently. You'll be given opportunities and ways to do it. And for me, that has been the most helpful thing of all because, you know, it's helped me to repair my, you know, relationships with my family, relationships with, you know, just all in general. So so lovely. Thank you once again, Audsie, and I love you, my